Judge is a better version of Brock Lesnar.
What is something you love as much as the Charmin Bears love wiping?
As an opposing fan, you'd probably see his face and want to sock him between your cracks. The greatest baseball podcast, 2 grace years. Thank you, Splash, for calling a challenge here. Automatic balls and strikes.
Like,
good evening again,
whether
guys.
Your mic was on.
Yes, I hit the unmute button, and I think I accidentally muted myself.
I think because when we put on the intro, it automatically mutes us. So I think you just timed it so well that you screwed yourself on it.
Yeah. So anyway, welcome to Losses Above Replacement. Greatest baseball podcast, 2 grace years. I'm today's host, Matthias Altman Kurosaki, and with me, as always, we have our 2 home plate umpires, Ryan Splash Potts and birthday boy Alex Clark. Happy birthday, Alex! Gentlemen, first things first. How are we doing on this fine Wednesday evening?
I'm old. I'm 32 now, and it feels weird to say that. I actually just went and played golf with some people, and I got paired with some high schoolers that were on their break. And it's weird because I was double their age, and they unironically called me Unk.
Oh no!
And it was definitely a time here. But no, honestly, we're doing good. Birthday after this, gonna go get ramen with the family, and
that sounds
didn't golf too badly. Got some good shots in there.
There you go. Yeah, ramen's a win. How's it going, fellas? The Braves. They had one of the games of all time last night. That fired me up, man. Walt Weiss tackling Jorge Soler. I'm glad Soler's okay. I'm glad Ronaldo's okay. I obviously don't condone fighting, but I do condone Walt Weiss being like a total gangster in that moment.
Absolutely.
I my favorite part of
that. My favorite part of that, though, was Reynaldo Lopez here. He used the baseball in some of his punches, which is the baseball equivalent of bringing out the brass knucks. And I think that is just funny.
Soler's wearing a helmet, too. So,
yeah.
It like kind of balances out. I know some fans are like, well, he's swinging a baseball at him. Isn't that battery? Like, honestly, probably like that. Yeah. That's not cool, Ronaldo. But I mean, Soler was wearing a helmet. So it's neither cool. It's not cool at all. But, and of course, Soler is a Braves legend and has probably the most famous Braves home run since they became the Atlanta freaking Braves.
Yeah.
Is it that? I think maybe. It's on the short list.
Something like that.
Like,
I'd say so.
Maybe Andrew Jones hitting a home run at 19 at Yankee Stadium during the World Series. That's all I can think of.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that brawl escalated very quickly.
That escalated quickly.
Yeah, exactly.
That got out of hand fast.
Yeah, I mean, I did not have it on my radar. It's the Angels and the Braves, like 2 teams who play once a year.
Yeah.
Used to like rarely play, like I don't know, once every 3 years at best. And yeah, all of a sudden there was some bad blood brewing. But yeah, that was crazy.
Also, one of the funniest bits of it, though, was after one of the pitches that was thrown, Jorge Soler just stood in the batter's box completely like a stone statue there. And I'm like, okay, hold on. That's actually kind of awesome.
Yeah, the aura on that was crazy. And it's like, so for those that didn't watch, Ronaldo wild pitch. So it bounces off the backstop. Heim picks it up, throws it to second. So the broadcast is following the play at second because Heim's trying to throw a runner out. Well, then during that like intermediate time, Soler's just staring down Ronaldo, and then Ronaldo turns around and sees, oh, hey, this guy's staring at me, and he starts walking to the mound, and then full on brawl, and that was
yeah. Crazy. There's some haymakers in there, like
they both got 7-game suspensions, although Reynaldo's has been reduced to 5.
Yeah, reduced to 5. I mean. The one thing that surprised me a little bit, and I guess he was sort of trying to play peacemaker, is that Weiss avoided suspension entirely. I know that, he was playing peacemaker. He did tackle a guy, but I mean, I think that was pretty cool, honestly.
I mean, to be fair, he did just get a call from the Giants here.
I was going to say,
the New York Giants, I should say, to go play.
The New York Giants are supposedly trading Dexter Lawrence, so they could probably use Walt Weiss on their roster.
Hey, I want you guys to close your eyes and imagine for a moment. Imagine a practice. Daniel Falele at guard, Dexter Lawrence on the other side. Is there a bigger mismatch in the history of any sport than that? Falele versus Dexter Lawrence.
Not even.
Here's the thing: is I know that there is. I'm just trying to figure out how are we taking a actual sanctioned event, because the Cleveland Spiders did exist.
Okay, that's true. Okay, fair enough. But I mean, I'm a big Dexter Lawrence fan, and I'm not a big Falele fan. Of course, watching him for 4 years on my football team try to kill Lamar Jackson, not ideal. No. Dexter Lawrence, I mean, I said he was the best player in the NFL a year ago, so what do I know?
Yeah, as an outsider on the New York Giants, I mean, I probably watch more Giants games than like any other team other than my own team, and I'm a Dexter Lawrence guy.
To XYZ Ballin, we're sorry we talked about the Giants.
XYZ Ballin, do you root for the New York team too? Out of curiosity, I know they hang out sometimes in Totowa. They have the Giant picnic and the Giant relay race. Shout out Mike Francesa. It's interesting, Alex. You mentioned you were getting ramen for dinner tonight. Tomorrow is my sister's birthday, and we are also going to have Japanese food.
Nice.
Because I don't know, that's sort of one of the traditional things we do to celebrate birthdays. Not all the time, but I feel like if we're at home, if it's my parents or someone else, we tend to get Japanese food. My birthday is next weekend, so I'm not sure what I'm going to get. We'll figure it out.
I know what you're going to get. You're going to get older. That's what it is.
Get what?
You're going to get older.
Well, I am. Yes, exactly. A sign of maybe getting older. I mysteriously got injured on Friday. I don't know what happened. That's the thing is I was on my way out the door to go coach. I was going to swim before I coach, and something tightened up. I'm like, I don't know. I didn't feel anything when I woke up this morning. Like, what the heck could have happened? I'm in the water, and I'm like just trying to loosen up my shoulder. I'm like, why is it not loosening up? And like, it's gotten to the point where I have a full range of motion with my shoulder, but for some reason, doing either of these motions, looking up or looking down, is the one thing that makes it hurt now. I'm like, so is it a neck injury or is it a shoulder injury? Like, what? So
I have two things I can say to that. One, I'm so sorry to tell you that you now have Tommy John.
Oh,
that's the first one. Or if you say it only hurts when you do that, then don't do that.
Okay. That's also a good idea.
Also, by the way, XYZ Ball, and I'm so sorry to tell you this, but you are now banned from the podcast.
We wish you well. Man, that's
friend. Go Seahawks. Anyway,
speaking of some people who are much younger than us, Konnor Griffin, 19-year-old shortstop for the Pirates, came up and made his major league debut, and even better for him, just signed a 9-year extension worth $140 million, the largest guarantee ever given to a rookie. I had a feeling they were going to try to make an extension happen. I was not expecting it to be 9 figures. It's also, if I'm not mistaken, the biggest contract in Pirates history, clearing that of Brian Reynolds. Big week for Konnor Griffin. He came up, made his debut, hit an RBI double in his first at-bat. He got 2-run single last night. Overall, he's only 3 for 18, but it feels like he's already made somewhat of an impact on the Pirates. They swept the first series they had with him. So, guys, what's your reaction, A, to Griffin coming up at such a young age, and B, getting this big contract extension?
I mean, I'm not surprised at this point, to be brutally honest with you. Like, we started to see, especially with a lot of young players, that this has been going on for years now, where the young players are getting these massive deals because it's not as big as the teams think that it could be, right? Like, we've seen a number of times here, like, again, Colt Emerson most recently here after Konnor Griffin signed another multi-year deal. But we've also seen players that have had these deals without ever playing in the major leagues. And I'm on the fence about it because the pros are very obvious here, right? If it's a player that you expect is going to be a long-term piece for you and play at a high level, the annual yearly per value is going to be stupidly low for what the player could honestly be worth. However, the flip side of that is, what if they aren't going to live up to that? AKA, I'm sorry, I love this man to death here, but Evan White got the big deal in, it's like, without ever playing a major league game, played a grand total of, I think, less than 100 games with Seattle, had multiple hip injuries, and eventually just was gone. And I loved him. I really thought he was going to be good, but then just it became a lot of dead money on the books. And that's the risk that you have to take. And I think right now, if you're the Pirates, you're also very okay with him coming up so early, because you also pretty recently had a young guy come up here to the big leagues and make an immediate impact. I think his name was Paul Scans. Maybe Paul.
He was all right. I mean, yeah.
Something like. Yeah, Paul Scans came up immediately and basically from day one put his presence out there saying that he is the best out there. Like, it was interesting to see just how immediate his dominance started. And I think that's what they were. I don't want to say that's what they're banking on with Konnor Griffin, but I could almost see that maybe they're being a little disillusioned, thinking that, okay, it happened with Skeens, maybe Griffin's the same way. I don't think you should ever make that bet on someone, because that's not a good idea. But I also like the graphic that you have up here, Splash. He is the 4th youngest player to come up at this point here. And I gotta be honest, the kid's good. Like, I mean, I don't think there's anybody saying that he is not good. But it's always going to be a risk when you give long-term deals to players that have not played in the major leagues yet. Like, yes, the upsides are there, but so are the downsides. But I think every deal is going to have upside and downside.
Yeah.
Alex, I have a take.
Yeah, what's up? This
deal is worse for Konnor Griffin than it is for the Pirates.
Yeah, I can see that.
I'm actually going to agree here, yeah.
Yeah, so 9 years, $140 million. If Konnor Griffin is as good as we think he is, as good as the number 1 prospect in baseball consensus, the comparison is Mike Trout, but playing shortstop. Yeah, that was a pretty good player.
But yeah,
pretty good. Yeah.
And I know he wasn't Mike Trout out of the gate. He struggled his first cup of coffee in the big leagues, but this is just an incredible value play for the Pirates. You are getting, at worst, what's the 30th percentile outcome? Griffin's just like a 2-win player every year. You would honestly take that for $140 million over 9 years. That is a perfectly reasonable. All right, he's going to be a solid shortstop for us. I'm going to pull up the graphic in a moment of Pirates WAR leaderboard at shortstop, mainly so I can get Arky Vaughn mentioned on the podcast again. But I'm going to do a weird comparison. Look at Michael Harris at Atlanta. Elite defense in center field. Can kind of run into one once in a while. Horrible plate discipline. He's been a below average hitter the last couple of years. The Braves have no qualms with the contract. Now, of course, Griffin signed a bigger contract, but Griffin plays shortstop and has some sort of eye at the plate. Although, with all due respect to Michael Harris, who did draw a walk today, believe it or not,
baby steps.
He has risen. He drew a walk. Like, that's a good contract for Atlanta. You get a good defensive center fielder, or the Ceddanne Rafaela contract in Boston. He's a great defensive center fielder. He's going to run into a couple home runs. He's going to strike out a bunch. He's not going to walk very much. Okay, great. Konnor Griffin is that a little bit better. He's going to play shortstop. He's going to hit for a little bit more average. He's going to hit for a little bit more power, perhaps. Walk a little bit more. I think this is a phenomenal deal for the Pirates. And you lock him into, like, he would be a $30 million a year player on the open market, or a $40 million a year, like, potentially. It's like 6 years down the line. Soto just made $765 million. He doesn't play shortstop. He's not good defensively. Imagine Konnor Griffin, age 19 now, is going to enter free agency. In theory, would have entered at 26. He would have probably made $500 million, $600 million, $700 million. Like, that's a totally reasonable, in the range of outcomes for him. He's that good of a player. He's that talented. He's kind of like Soto, burst onto the scene. He obviously ascended to being the number 1 prospect in baseball, but we didn't get prospect fatigue, right? Like, compare him to Andrew Painter of the Phillies, who was a top 10 prospect 3 years ago, then blew out his arm and has been trying to claw back. And like, people still like him, but being a superstar pitching prospect at 20 is a little bit different from being 23. And the list I have pulled up, if you're watching on YouTube, is shortstop debutants to get a hit in their debut. Since 1950, there's only been 5 age 19. Ted Kazansky of the Phillies, Alan Trammell, Hall of Famer of the Tigers, Luis Alvarado of the Red Sox, Konnor Griffin the other day, and Jose Reyes, who was a pretty good player for a long time with the Mets and Marlins. Blue Jays?
I was going to say he played 1 year with the Marlins, but yeah.
Better with the Mets.
Yes. Came back around for a second time with the Mets, even. Yeah. After a ill-fated tenure with the Rockies. But Griffin, it's an aggressive move. On the other hand, there is an elephant in the room here, which is this pending lockout and salary cap. And there was a report that the growing feeling is that a lot of these guys are going to be the contracts are going to be grandfathered in to the new system. So I completely understand why more teams are doing that. I mean, you look at it this same week, like less than a week earlier, Brewers locked down Cooper Pratt on an 8-year deal, which, by the way, that one confuses me quite a bit because, look, I am not an expert here, but Cooper Pratt last year in Double-A in Biloxi had an OPS of 691, only slugged 348. Now, look, if Cooper Pratt is actually like Ozzie Smith at shortstop, and I just don't know about it, look, great. I hear he's a speedy defense-first shortstop. Look, he got a big contract. Colt Emerson, Mariners, same deal, 8-year contract, $95 million. And now Konnor Griffin, 9 years, $140 million. Look, Konnor Griffin was a monster as a teenager in the minors last year, all right? Every level, he did not slow down at any level. 932 OPS for Bradenton. High A, 942 OPS. Double A, 961 OPS. So he's just getting better. Cumulatively, he hit 21 homers and stole 65 bases with a 941 OPS in the minors as a 19-year-old. And then this year, he was 7 for 16 with 3 doubles and 3 steals to start the year. So he was showing all the tools you wanted in a young prospect. And clearly he was ready to make the jump. Now I understand everyone's like, oh yeah, he's 3 for 18. He can't be that great. Well, I mean, yeah, obviously a 19-year-old isn't going to come up and immediately, turn into Hank Aaron. Like he's a good prospect. If he puts up a 780 OPS, I think that's a win for him this year. He's already proven he's an athletic shortstop too. Already 2 defensive runs saved in 4 games. Like, he's more than just a bat guy. So I think this is the right move for the Pirates. To your point, Splash, about, it's probably a better move for the team than it is for the player. I mean, 100%. The one thing it does for Griffin is that it gives him security through those arbitration years. And who knows what arbitration is going to look like in the new CBA. That's exactly the thing. To Alex's point, I mean, I remember when the Phillies gave Scott Kingery similar contract. Granted, those contracts weren't nearly as big, but still, it's a risk. I get it. But I remember Scott Kingery, John Singleton. Heck, the Mets kind of did it with Mike Pelfrey. It can get weird. Sometimes you get those guys at the majors, they just don't perform. I'm not saying Konnor Griffin's going to become, a major league superstar overnight, but I'm definitely very high on him. It was really fun to watch him these first few games, especially that first game. That at bat against Kyle Bradish, I was really impressed with. Went down to the count, got a curveball in the outside corner, drove it into the gap. And there was just a different feeling around the Pirates. I get it was home opener on Friday, but like there was like a sense of optimism all of a sudden from a fan base that really hasn't had a lot to be excited about beyond Paul Skeens. So I'm happy for the city of Pittsburgh, really. I hope they, obviously, Pittsburgh is a very passionate sports town. They're passionate about the Steelers. They're passionate about the Penguins. They're passionate about the Pirates. They just haven't had enough to get excited about. It's a great baseball city, and they deserve to have a competitive team.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. On top of it, also their stadium is absolutely beautiful there too. I do want to add one thing here because also Splash, I see you want to add something here. Just let me say one thing first here, and that is I'm always going to be a little bit hesitant here, especially after one man that was offered a contract, a early contract, and declined it, opting to bet on himself. And that player was Jared Kelenic. And that is like, and right now I can just say that right now Mariner fans are like thanking the lucky stars that he did not sign that, because otherwise you'd have even more dead money going out, and you'd probably still be paying it off at some point now. Like, I don't get me wrong, it's a one-off type thing, and there's no way to fully predict what is going to happen. You can say that a player has done well at certain levels, right? Like, again, we see from Konnor Griffin, he has played extremely well at every level that he has been at here. But at what level does that stop? Does it stop at the major league level? Does it not stop at the major league level? And that's always the question you're going to have to ask. And I realize as I'm saying this, that that's how all risk is. All risk is always going to be, so there's a good outcome and a bad outcome, right? That's just, what are you more willing to do here on this?
Yeah, and I get it. There's a risk to it. However, on a team level, say the Kelenic deal, I don't know what was reported that was supposed to be, but let's say it was 7 for 70. I don't know what it was, but that's $10 million a year in theory. That's 10%, less than 10% of what you're paying for the team. And I know it adds up, and you can't have like lots of whiffs, and that's something like Atlanta's dealing with when Riley's underperforming and Harris is underperforming and Ozzy is underperforming. And it's like, it's great having all the guys locked up, but if they're not performing, then you're kind of locked into place there. You can't do anything. So of course you don't want a team full of the extensions, because that can get sketchy. But I think a player as talented as Griffin, I'll take my chances. And if it doesn't work, okay, you're giving at the peak of the deal like $20 million a year to a player who's not worth it. That said, if he's just an average shortstop, if he's just like an average hitter at the plate, or maybe a little bit below average, a solid defender, if he's a 2-win player, like that's better than a deal you'd get in free agency. The Braves gave Ha-Seong Kim a 1-year, $20 million deal this offseason. That's before any inflation by the end of the contract that Griffin would have to deal with, or any free agency money that he would have to deal with. If he's, just a solid player, nothing spectacular, I think it'll pay for itself. If he's like, I have the WAR leaderboard, Pirate shortstops pulled up in their history. Konnor Griffin is already tied for 44th. So that's kind of crazy.
That was quick.
Yeah. But by the end of the year, he's probably a 2-win player, a 3-win player. I'm going to just say, for the sake of example, he's going to be between Frank Tavares at 3.1 and Wid Conroy.
Yeah, sure. 2.3. One of those guys. Yeah.
So if he has a 2.5-win season, he's going to be the 23rd best shortstop in the history of the Pirates. If he does like 2.3 WAR for 5-6 years, the contract pays for itself. Yes, it would be disappointing, but he's going to be a top 10 Pirates shortstop of all time. Like, that's Jordy Mercer, 6.3 is in 11th place. Bones Eli, 7.7 WARs in 10th place.
There's some amazing names on this list.
Rabbit Marinville, too. That guy, yes.
Can I just say my favorite name on this list right now? Number 19, Jack Glasscock. I think that is just
legendary name.
Beautiful.
Yes. We have World Series hero Dick Groat, who won an MVP, by the way.
MVP, yes. 1960 MVP.
We have Dad, Jack Wilson.
Yep.
So just some great names here. A lot of genitalia.
I was noticing that. I was looking down this list, and I'm like, there's a lot of genitalia jokes here on this.
We got Dick Groat, Dick Schofield, Bones Eli, if you want to count that. Frank, you can count that. Dick Bartell, Billy Cox. That's that. Jack Glasscock, yeah. Of course. That's kind of wild.
Pirates, what you get what's going on with your team?
But, I mean, it makes sense when you're a pirate here. Doesn't like you may have some parts missing here from battle and all that, and maybe some of them need a replacement, and you're gonna get a nickname after that.
No, but in all sincerity, it's because they're just been a pretty irrelevant franchise for 60 years. So all of your good players are from like the 1800s. So that actually makes a lot more sense if you think about it that way, because they haven't had a truly good, like, consistent all-star level shortstop since Archie freaking Vaughn in the 30s. Like, your most WAR by a Pirate shortstop since 1941 is Gene Alley.
I mean, you could also make a thing. Jack Wilson, 2001.
Jack Wilson was a good shortstop.
Jack Wilson was good. He had a
more carried by the glove.
I would say he fits at least in that category.
You know,
like a 79 OPS.
It's weird because Jack Wilson didn't win a Gold Glove, but he did win a Silver Slugger. And I believe Jay Bell may have won a Silver Slugger for them too. Jay Bell later hit 38 home runs in a season for the Diamondbacks.
Yes, Jay Bell, All-Star, MVP vote getter, Gold Glove, and Silver Slugger with the 93 Pirates.
I believe he also led the league in sack bunts because Jim Leyland loved batting him second and having him sack bunt.
He had 39 sacrifices in 1990.
That's what I mean. Yeah, he was a sack bunt guy.
The next year, he led the league with 30. He was a 113 OPS plus hitter. So he had 32 doubles, 30 sack bunts.
Yeah, baseball was a completely different game. That's weird.
I was about to say the Atlanta Braves of nowadays are crying hearing that.
Nowadays,
we'll go
if you're batting second
season with 2 of them.
If you're batting second, you're expected to hit 30 homers, not bunt 30 times. Yeah.
What? The 30-30 club isn't 30 doubles and 30 sack bunts?
I mean, yeah, we can make it that, or 30 sack bunts and 30 hit by pitches. I mean,
Ty France?
Can we have like the horrible 30-30 where it's 30 strike? It's like what 30 sacrifice bunts and 30 caught stealings?
Yeah, I was gonna say caught stealings. Yeah.
Hey, I mean, Michael Harris, he's gonna be tough sledding to get to the 30 walk, 30 double club.
I mean, yeah, anything is possible, I guess. But
anything is possible.
Anyways, yeah. Let's go to our next segment. Birthday boy, you have a question of the day. So
I do have. It's time for the question of the day. I'm waiting for this. The graphic. All right, gentlemen. I am birthday guy here, so I want to make a birthday type question. What's the best birthday gift that you've ever received?
That is a great question. I'd have to do some digging on this one.
Yeah, no, this is. I came up with this, and I'm like, I'm having trouble answering it for myself. I have some good ones.
Yeah, I've gotten some great gifts over the years. That's the thing. Like off the top of my head.
That's a great question. I can't think of any because my birthday is somewhat close to Christmas, so sometimes. Like, oh yeah, it'll like be half for Christmas, half for birthday if it's like a bigger gift,
right?
You know,
yeah, absolutely.
Xbox sort of deal. I had Brazilian steakhouse. Brazilian steakhouse Fogo for my birthday this year.
Fogo. I've never actually been to Fogo, but
I'll count that.
I've been to Brazilian steakhouse before, and it is quite good. Last year was pretty great. I saw Francisco Lindor hit a walk-off homer on my birthday, but
darn.
Nice.
In terms of like an actual like item, I know one year I got my first Nintendo DS for my birthday. That was pretty awesome. It's just I know that I feel like normally like in high school we'd be away because it'd be on spring break or something, or I would just be swimming all the time. So it'd be like impossible for us to do anything to celebrate. Yeah. The one that sucked was that there's one year where spring break was super late. So my birthday was on like a Monday and I still had school and practice the next morning. So it was just a lost cause. But yeah, I'd say probably, the Nintendo DS was a pretty good one. I would have to think back on that because I've received a number of great gifts either from family or from friends. So yeah.
I think my answer might be I got a 2006 sports encyclopedia from my godparents.
That's pretty great.
And it had like Peyton on the cover when he was with the Colts, and like I read that thing forwards, backwards, sideways, front ways, every sort of way. So that was a great one. That really helped me get into sports when I was 6.
When I was younger, it was actually, so I definitely know I've probably had better before, and this is just one that always hits me. It was actually a delayed birthday present. The year the Nintendo Wii came out, I was supposed to get it for birthday. The original plan was for birthday, but I had attitude issues. I was having a lot of anger issues, and I had to calm down here and not get in trouble for the rest of the year. The rest of the school year, and I did. I was fine. And on the last day of school, they were like, all right, on your birthday, we made a deal, right? And I'm like, oh god, there's no way. And they pulled out the Nintendo Wii, and me and my buddy Drake played Wii Sports for hours and hours and hours. It was an amazing time.
Shout out to Drake Baldwin.
Dude, Nintendo Wii. I remember when my family got the Nintendo Wii for the first time. It was like revolutionary, man. And we tried so hard to get one. I don't even remember where we ended up getting one from, but like it was just such a game changer. Literally, legit. No pun intended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, like, even in the year of our Lord, 2026, the Nintendo Wii is still a great console, and Wii Sports is an incredible game itself.
Love Wii Sports.
So simple, yet so much fun. Yeah, right? Like, that's the thing is, I want them to bring back some of the things that they had on Wii Sports. Like, Switch Sports, don't get me wrong, is good.
It's fun, yeah.
But, like, get back to, like, the training games from Wii Sports. Get back, some more of like the general feel. Go back to using just Mii's. Like, we don't care about like the people weird designs you've had. Like, just keep it simple.
Yeah. Yes. And Nintendo. I mean, yeah.
Actually, I just got a text from my mom, and that was a much better gift, and I'm so stupid I couldn't even think of it immediately. Getting tickets to Konnor Griffin Jr.'s Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah.
No, I am so stupid. How did I forget?
That is a great gift. I mean,
that is I think the reason why I kept forgetting about it is because I tried to block a lot of that year out of my mind, because that was a year I was doing some not so great things in school. But no, legitimate. Yeah, no, that absolutely takes the cake. Mom, I know you're watching. Thank you so much. Here, I should have remembered that one.
Yeah, I feel like if the Mets are home on my birthday and it's like it was on a weekend, I would try to go to a game. But like that was the tough part, is that in like I've said this before, in high school and middle school, like if it was during the week, forget it. I wasn't celebrating anything until the weekend because I didn't have time. My family didn't have time. But yeah, I remember there was one year, I think 2015, I went to a game on my birthday. In the middle of the Mets 11-game winning streak. And then this last year, I think that was the only other time I've gone to a game on my birthday. I mean, like there are a lot of trips that sort of were nice, but I mean, those were just the ones that really stuck out to me. So that's a great question though, Alex.
I can confirm that the Braves are 0-0 on my birthday.
Boy, I wonder why.
Officially, they've played some spring training games.
Yeah, I think I know the day I was born, either the Mets played a doubleheader or something, or I don't think they played a doubleheader. I just know Robin Ventura hit a grand slam. He hit a lot of those.
Did he correctly walk around the bases that time?
Yes, he did. I believe it was against the Brewers. I've looked this up before. Occasionally, I'll just like randomly look at it.
I mean, yeah, it's always fun. I love just getting like those random like thoughts in the middle of the night, being like, I know this player did it amazing. Let me go take a look at their stat page real quick.
Yeah,
you just will randomly remember, a player like a Brian LaHair or
something like that.
Yeah, a Russell Branyan, and just be like, how good were they that one year? Oh yeah, they were awesome that one year.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna do something here, sort of similar to what we did last week. We're gonna do some panicking or lack of panicking here. We each have a team and a player that we are sort of hitting the panic button on, and we are going to react to what we think. So let's go Splash here. Why don't you start us? Who are you panicking about?
My Pookie Bear, Ronald Acuna. I'm panicking. I'm panicking. He had 2 doubles today and a walk, so in the right direction today. But the Baseball Savant page it doesn't really look like Ronald Acuna. It looks more like 2024 Acuna. Like he's hitting the ball kind of hard. He has a 68% or a 68th percentile barrel rate, 78th percentile xWOBA, 80th percentile expected slug. He's drawing a lot of walks, over 13%, and he's swinging the bat really hard, 92nd percentile. But everything's down. Last year was 96th percentile bat speed, and it was all dark red. It was 98th percentile this, 95th percentile this, 92nd percentile this, 93rd percentile this, 95th percentile this. And like I know other stars are struggling. Alex might talk about Julio Rodriguez. Mac might talk about Bo Bichette. Phillies fans might talk about Bryce Harper. Like, there's plenty of guys struggling, but when the expectation is Ronald Acuna is a full go. He led for Venezuela to the World Baseball Classic title in March. So you're like, he's 200%. Oh boy, let's strap up. He's going to go 40-70 again, and it's been no homers, couple doubles. Like, he didn't score a run. He had 1 run scored in 11 games, batting leadoff with Drake Baldwin hitting behind him, and then Matt Olson hitting in the 3-hole or 4-hole, depending on, and either Ozzie hitting in the 3-hole, who's killed left-handed pitching this year, or Olson hitting in the 3-hole, Olson hitting in the 4-hole. Those guys are slugging. So Ronald just hasn't really been on base all that much. Again, he's walking, but a 204 average through today, 265 slug. That's really concerning. 265 slug, and in his down 2024 years, a 365 slug. So should I be panicking?
I mean, I think it's Ronald Acuna Jr. Really, I wouldn't hit the panic button personally. I think, especially like you were saying today, he took some steps forward. I understand. Yeah, he only had 1 extra base hit on the year coming into today. And look, I'm a Ronald Acuna Jr. fantasy owner. He was my first round pick this year. I would, it'd be great if he could step up for that. But I think
Acuna board draft owner. A board draft owner.
Yeah, one of the picks of all time. Right
one
there.
Of the picks of all time. You're welcome.
I think he'll be fine though. Really.
Who? I guess yeah. I took Judge with that.
No, yeah, Matt got Judge with it because he went second, and I went first. I took Acuna purely to spite you, and
should I give a war draft update? I think I should. Right now,
actually, real quick, interject.
Yeah, through April 7th, Mac and I are tied at 5.3 war. Alex is at 5.1. He has the best player, Yordan Alvarez. He leads in Baseball Reference War and Fangraphs War among the players we chose. I have a really good team, but I also had the worst player, Griffin Jacks, who has -0.8 B war and -0.3 F war. That's the worst in both. Alex has Ronald, who is -3 in both, -0.3 in both. That's not good. Some injuries. Soto's hurt for me, but he's gotten off to a good start. Matt Chapman, Mr. Brain Dead, he's cooking for Mac. He has 0.6 B war and 0.3 F war. So does Judge. Chase Delauder is up to 1 total. Mason Miller has been unbelievable for Mac, 0.4 in each.
Yeah, I was expected that.
Yeah, so a couple cold starts for Alex with Raleigh and Alonso. I have Caminero, basically 0. I have Julio, basically 0. Scooble, though. Mac, you have Paul Skeens. That hasn't gone particularly well.
Not great yet.
And Byron Buxton hasn't done particularly well. Nick Kurtz is at 0. Good job for him. But your pitching, or your reliever and Chase Delauder have been cooking, and then Ohtani at the DH spot has been excellent. So we're tied, Mac.
Yep.
I'm right on the tail. Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Did you have any thoughts on Acuna, Alex, before?
No. I mean, here's the thing. It's Ronald Acuna Jr. I think personally, like, with a lot of the stars are struggling early on here. I don't think that it's going to, be truly horrendous. I don't think he's going to have, a year where he just goes and regresses even really at all. We know that we are just one big burst away for him. He is that kind of player that as long as he stays healthy, knock on wood, he is one of the best in the game. Like, bar none. He is a guy that has a club all to himself, the 40-70 club. Like, I don't think, barring, again, injury, knock on wood, that he is going to be anything less than still a star player.
Yeah. And I mean, I picked him to be an NL MVP finalist. I think, yeah, I mean, once he gets out of this little rut, I'm expecting him to be a little bit more like the regular Ronald Acuna.
Yeah, it's just like he had a barrel today, had another hard hit ball. That was an out, but he had another like bloop, sort of a bloop double, and then a hard hit grounder. So those kind of balance out. So it looks a little bit better, but you are concerned when your leadoff guy isn't scoring runs. And Ronald Acuna is one of the most prolific run scorers in the history of the sport. And that's how he bats leadoff. He's a great base runner. In theory, he steals a bunch of bases. There's been some miscues this year there. I'm actually going to blame the Braves, not Antoine Richardson. I think the Braves just don't know how to steal bases, and they need to relearn how to breathe essentially. Austin Riley stole a bag today, so he's working his way out of a rut too. He and Ronald were my 2 picks for today.
Right.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna go into mine next. I mean, another guy, you expect more from. Jose Ramirez is off to a dreadful start this year. OPS is a shade over 500 at this point. But I mean, across the board, his bat speed is down, hard hit rate is down, average exit velocity is down. He's still not striking out much. He's still not whiffing much. His walk rate is still 10%. Clearly, he's underperformed some of his metrics. But here's my reaction here is that I'm not necessarily panicking about him, but I don't think it's reasonable to expect him to be superstar Jose Ramirez this year. We're talking about a guy who is 33 now. He's lucky that this year he might have a co-star in the lineup with Chase DeLauder, but the reality is he's had to carry this team for such a long time that, I think I'm not sure if we can expect him to be a 30-30 guy again or a nearly 40-40 guy. Maybe he goes 20-20, but I think maybe we still see him get to about an 800 to 850 OPS, but I don't know if I'm necessarily expecting a super prolific offensive season the way we've seen for the last few years.
It's so weird to think about here, especially like as you bring that up here. There's another player that's in Major League Baseball that is one of the best to ever do it at their position and has started to falter more here after carrying their team for several years. That guy's name is Mike Trout. And there's a lot of similarities between the two when you take a look at the career regression. And I don't want to say that we're not going to see, an incredible year from J-Ram because we've seen what happens when you doubt J-Ram. J-Ram comes back and does amazing things. I will bring up one thing that's kind of, at least it should be said for him. The opening series that he played against was against my Mariners. And the Mariners pitching staff in that opening series was dominant. There was not a whole lot to work with. I believe there was at least one shutout, if not multiple. So, again, we're also still just 15 games into the season right now. So, again, I'm not hitting a full panic, but there are some metrics that do show that maybe this is what we're to expect. But I also know that he's a professional, and there's a reason why he's been at the top of his game for so long.
Fellas, I'm not panicking at all. His matchups have been at Seattle in March, at Dodger Stadium in March, home in Cleveland in early April, and home against the Royals in early April. If you went to a lab and said, how can we make it impossible for anyone to hit? You would take the Mariners pitching at T-Mobile Park. You would take the Dodgers pitching at Dodger Stadium, and you would take freezing cold weather in Cleveland against anyone and anyone. So that's my defense. I think J-Ram's could be perfectly fine. I think he'll be his regular 5-win self, and by the end of the year, we won't even notice the start. I think it's just a bad run of you drew at Seattle. Imagine if it was at Houston in a dome, or at Toronto in a dome, or at Tampa in a dome, or in a warm Miami in a half covered, or Petco is not a good place to hit, but at least it's not cold, or Arizona, right? So the Braves, for example, scored 17 runs in Arizona. They're not scoring 17 runs in Cleveland in April. They're not scoring 17 runs in Minnesota or Detroit or in Seattle, So I get he's been struggling and he's tearing down Alex in the war draft, but I have no qualms with J-Ram. He'll be a 5-win player once again.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right, Alex, hit us.
All right, shocker. I'm sticking with a Mariner here. I'm not going to go to Julio. I originally was going to, but then I changed my mind because there's one player that honestly I'm getting closer and closer to hitting the panic button on. I'm not fully. That's my boy Josh Naylor.
Yeah.
Naylor has been, if I'm just going to say, it has been atrocious at the start of the year. Defensively, he's been fine. I'm not going to, but that's not the issue here. The issue right now is that he has negative 0.6 B-WAR right now, has only 5 hits currently, and has a batting average of $104. $104 is just bad. The other thing to kind of point out here, I'm pulling up some stats with this, all 5 of his hits, singles, not a single extra base hit. Right now, that gives him a slugging percentage of $104. Like it's bad right now. But the issue that I have right now is that he has had a lot of very questionable decisions at the plate. Like, that's my biggest issue with him right now. We go back to the big, XYZ ball and panicking about all of the Giants. And you know what? Very fair. I will just give you that one here. But with Naylor, now go back to the very first game of the season, right? Had runners on in scoring position, a 3-0 count. Now, with 2 outs, that is a take that pitch all the way until unless you are, Aaron Judge, something like that. Grounds into an inning-ending double play. Sorry, he had 1 out. My bad. Inning-ending double play ball. And that's been kind of what we've seen here, is that defensively, he's been okay. Like, I mean, as good as you would want a first baseman to be. Everything else has been very lackluster. He's not gotten, honestly, that hard hit. He's not hit the ball near as hard here. He has gotten up to the sweet spot a few times here, but even when he gets the ball into the outfield, it's still not getting out of the ballpark right now. Do I think that he is going to figure it out? Absolutely. He is a battle-hardened veteran here of this game, and he's still in his late 20s. Like, he's going to be fine, but watching him right now, it's the decision-making that's hurting me right now. Because I want to see how much more he can figure it out here, as Splash is very much trying to tell me something. I'm not quite sure. Podcast viewers, maybe you should tell me, what should I be seeing here? He's circling that chase percentage. I wonder what that could mean. Let's see. I mean, it's a 12. That's pretty good, right? I mean, 12's got to be great, right, guys?
Sure, man.
The chat says no.
Darn, Chad.
The Magic Conk says Splash was right about Josh Naylor.
Okay, I'm not going to say you're right about Josh Naylor. I'm going to say that I'm worried a little bit. And I know that he's going to get better because he absolutely just has to. But I want to add on one thing here. And actually, I'll keep that for my next one here because, spoiler alert, I think you know what team I'm going to pick.
Yeah, I mean, Naylor's at-bats have been rough, to say the least. I mean, like you're saying, 548, no extra base hits. He's drawn some walks, which is acceptable, but yeah, he does not look like himself. I know everyone's been dogging on Julio Rodriguez and Cal Raleigh for their slow starts, but like those guys at least have shown a little bit of life the last couple of games, last few games. I mean, Cal hit a home run off Jacob deGrom on Monday. He hit an RBI single yesterday. So he obviously has not been great, but it looks like he's slowly coming out of it, like baby steps. And J-Rod got a game-tying hit against the Angels on Sunday, but there's just been nothing going for Naylor. I want to believe that this is just, him getting off to a slow start. He kind of had a high chase rate last year, it was 37%, but this is the worst of his career, or tied for the worst of his career. So hopefully he digs out of it. Obviously he's underperforming some of those metrics, but I understand why you're sort of hitting the panic button. I mean, the Mariners gave this guy a 5-year extension, and he just hasn't done anything with that money. So I kind of understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, I'm not fully, like I said, I'm not fully worrying, but I'm definitely like, dude, come on, let's get going. Let's keep it going here.
Yeah, I see Naylor swings a lot and he makes a lot of contact. So fair enough to him. He whiffs like a league average rate. But when you swing that much, you see it with a certain center fielder in Atlanta, a certain center fielder in Boston, a certain center fielder that plays for the Cubs. When you swing all the time, you have wide variance in what's going on. So the other end of the spectrum, Corey Seager, always awesome when he's on the field. Juan Soto, always awesome. Aaron Judge, strike zone being gigantic notwithstanding, always awesome. When you have great swing decisions, it makes it easier to be good because you are taking away what the pitcher wants. The pitcher wants you to swing at balls. That is the goal, right? That is why chase is a thing. That's why nasty breaking balls are a thing. The pitcher wants you to swing at those, right? The Mason Miller breaking ball against Geraldo Perdomo. Mason Miller wants you to swing at that. Because you're going to do nothing with it. And that ends up being the problem. When you're running a 40% chase rate, those are not good pitches to hit. Even if you do get a hit, even if it's a good piece of hitting, more times than not, it's not going to be a good piece of hitting. It's hard to get good contact on it. It's hard to barrel it. It's hard to get good swings on it. And you're just kind of like poking it and you're going to, I'll go the other way with it. Well, yeah, there's going to be a defender there if you're not hitting it very hard. And there's something to be said for working good at bats. And, Naylor could work some okay at bats sometimes and draw a couple walks here and there. But when you're swinging at everything, sometimes you just get in a bad rut of, okay, another ground ball to the shortstop, another ground ball to the second baseman. Another pop up on the infield. Another lazy fly ball. When if you're a little bit more selective and you're saying, all right, I don't want to swing at pitches outside of the strike zone, even though I am Josh Naylor, I have a good contact tool. I can hit the baseball. Luis Ariz can fall into the same bucket of just because you can hit it doesn't mean you need to hit it. There's a very like Jose Ramirez, bad ball hitter, he's going to be a Hall of Famer. Vlad Guerrero Sr., bad ball hitter, he's going to be a Hall of Famer. Most players in the Hall of Fame, most players at that talent level aren't in the Hall of Fame because they're bad ball hitters. They're in the Hall of Fame because they took bad balls and walked 1,000 times. And when the ball was in the strike zone, they did their damage. They got their 3,000 hits or 500 home runs. So that's what I'm concerned with Naylor is that I know he always chases a lot and he always tries to bail himself out with the hit tool, but that's just going to reduce your contact. And it's going to be like, those aren't doubles and homers that he's hitting. They're going to be singles that you're chasing out of the strike zone. I'll slap. Okay. You're going to hit 212 on those. Like, yeah, once in a while you'll get a hit, but the other 78% of the time, it's not very good.
Right. And that's the issue that you have to kind of figure out
here
with this. And I've seen with him that he can be patient at the plate. He just needs to be more patient here. Mm-hmm. You can relate, Splash. But no, with how much we talk about, am
I going to lose my challenge?
You will not. It's like,
you got to challenge instantly. Remember, man.
Yeah, the challenge. We take a look at the screen and find out that Alex was right.
Shout out to Shohei Ohtani confusing his catcher today.
Shout out to Jazz Chisholm for challenging when they had no challenges left.
Shout out Ronald Acuna for all of his greatness, for his MVP and all of the things. And he's even turning it around. He might be the worst challenger in Major League Baseball.
Maybe.
Yeah, he's like 1 for 4, and the 3 that he's missed, it's not like clipping the zone. It's like, that was close. These are the entire ball is in the strike zone, buddy.
Yeah. Some people are not great at this. I do quickly want to shout out Adrian Del Castillo on the Diamondbacks, who probably had the best challenge I've seen yesterday, where he flipped an inning-ending strikeout into a ball, and then the next pitch hit a 2-run single to tie the game. Like that, that was impressive. Anyway, Alex, tell us what team you're panicking about then.
Mariners. What's going on, guys? What's going on? So I want to bring up a couple things here. Obviously, I'm talking about Seattle. They are 4-8. Sorry, 4-9.
4-9.
Yeah, after today's game of which you scored 0 runs against the Texas Rangers. And I'm going to show you a couple things here. This is what I am currently worrying about. According to baseballreference.com, you take a look at the entire offense that has gone on with this team. Through right now, 452 plate appearances through 13 games, 12 games, according to the website for now. XYZ Ballin. Yep. I gotta tell you. Yeah, we know. But no, we appreciate you. The total team WAR for Seattle, 1. That is, you combine every player currently that has taken an at-bat for the Seattle Mariners. The WAR right now on the season is 1. And the biggest people that have helped that are Cole Young, who has a 0.8 WAR, and then on top of him, Brendan Donovan with a 0.6, and Randy Rosarena with a 0.5 WAR. I understand we're still early in the season, but the fact that right now Josh Naylor with a negative 0.6 WAR with Julio adding nothing, he has 0.0 at the moment. Leo Rivas getting -2. Here, Cal Raleigh only being a +2. And also you have Rob Refsnyder now at a -0.3. It's hurting you a lot. Like, the offense, I am honestly scared at this point. I know that they will figure it out, But when your main offensive contributors are Brendan Donovan, who you got in the offseason and is your leadoff man and is being stranded on base a lot, and Cole Young, who is batting 8th in your lineup, consistently batting 8th or 9th. Here's my question to you guys. I understand that you need to, let things play out. There are times where you just need to be like, let your stars be at the top here. At what point do you reward the guys that are playing at that level and put them higher in the lineup? Right? Because right now, with the way that Cole Young is hitting, he should be your number 3 hitter. Do I think he should be put there tomorrow? No. I think that you start moving him up the lineup, though. Like, I think you need to see him at like 6th. Right. Like, do you really want him hitting after Leo Rivas? Do you really want him hitting after Dominic Canzone? Like, Canzone, I love him to death here, but he's a bases clearer. Like, he's not a guy that's going to get you singles. He's going to be a guy that's going to hit mammoth dongs. Like, that's what he do there. And while everyone's going this along with him. But here's the thing I want to be very clear about when it comes to Young. He is becoming an all-around player. Defensively, he has looked fantastic here. He has been making some incredible plays, and offensively, he's one of the only players that has actually been consistent. Like, I would love to see him moved up to maybe like 6th in the order, right? If not, maybe even 5th. If you really want to, take, like, say, Julio and put him down on the lineup just to see what will happen on that, just to get that brain jump started. Or if you want to maybe take, I don't know, Josh Naylor, who has not done well, and move him down in the lineup a little bit. I'm worried because the pitching has been phenomenal so far. That I am so impressed with the Mariners starting staff right now. And honestly, even the bullpen has been really, really good so far. But the problem is, it doesn't matter how good your pitching is if you don't score a run in the game, and they've been shut out now multiple times over the course of the first 13 games, today being one of them. Like, I'm trying to be very, honest with this here as well, that obviously it's going to get better. I mean, this team is talent-wise, is one of the best in baseball. This is a team that a lot of people have predicted to make the World Series here for the first time ever in their history. Like, again, going back to Baseball Reference, they have the Mariners at a 70.6% to make the postseason and a 6.1% to win the World Series. That is better than most teams in the American League. But what I'm scared of is that if the offense is so boom or bust, like it has been, where it's either home run or nothing, how far does that get you? Especially when the pitching, it's felt like it's had to be perfect as of late.
Yeah, and really, their pitching staff ERA as a whole is about 3, which is good. That's what you want. If your pitching staff has a 3 ERA, you expect to be better than 4 and 9 right now. And like I was saying, everyone's going to pile on the middle of the lineup, but as a whole, outside of Brendan Donovan, you're really not getting much. That's the thing, is that Brendan Donovan is tearing the cover off the ball. He scored 5 runs this year, and 3 of those were himself. Like, there is something's wrong here, and maybe this is me being premature here, but maybe something that they do to inject some life into their lineup is call up Colt Emerson. I don't know who gets displaced, but it could do something to put a jolt into the lineup. We see this, so many teams do it with their roster. They call someone up to get some life into the team. And honestly, maybe, all right, if they struggle through the end of the month, okay, it's April 8th right now. Say we get to May 1st, they're still putzing around under 500, then all right, maybe you consider it. But yeah, I understand where you're coming from, but the thing is, I feel like historically this team's a slow starter. Yeah. Last year they started out slow. I remember in 2022 they were rough through about the middle of June and then won 14 games in a row. So yeah, I'm not hitting the panic button on this team quite yet, partially because the pitching staff has been great. Once the offense gets going, I think they're one of the best teams in baseball. I picked them to make the World Series, so hopefully they don't make me look bad.
Yeah, I think this is just a case of Seattle in April. I know not all of their games are played in Seattle right now, or they just got swept by Texas, but you're hosting the Astros. The Astros can't pitch. That's a good spot. That's a good get right by the
Rockies
coming up. So I think you'll be able to score some runs. Cal hit a couple dingers. Randy hit a couple dingers. Julio hit a couple dingers. Maybe Naylor gets on the board with a dinger. Like the pitching has been good. Nothing. I wouldn't say I'm complaining about. I mean, Kirby's been okay. Gilbert's allowed a couple extra runs than you'd want. Woo's been good. Hancock's been good. Castillo's been good. The bullpen's been fine. It's a 2.70 ERA as a staff, and I'm not one to hype up the Mariners here. A 1.48 ERA plus in the season. That'll play. 85 OPS plus for the offense. That's not going to play. So, maybe integrating JP Crawford back in instead of Leo Rivas is going to help a little bit. And maybe, like you said, calling up Cole Emerson. But then again, it's April.
Yeah. I have two things I want to say real quick. First of which, I like Colt Emerson. I'm worried because I don't know where you put him. Because at this point now, you have Donovan at third base, Naylor at first, Cole Young at second, and JP Crawford at third. Do you put him at shortstop? Do you take away the team captain to put Colt Emerson in the lineup? I don't know. I think what you'll end up doing is probably sending down Leo Rivas here in order to bring up Colt Emerson, but I need to wait until at least May to see that happen. The second thing, I'm going to read a tweet from Cespedes Family Barbecue, because this is legitimately one of the funniest things I've ever read.
Oh, brother.
Here, the Astros just got swept by the Rockies and have a team ERA of 6.05. That's worst in baseball. The Mariners just got swept by the Rangers and have a team OPS of 581, 30th worst in baseball. Starting Friday, it is the stoppable force versus the movable object.
Thanks. Thank you, Jake and Jordan.
That is the funniest thing I've ever read. It's so good.
Yeah.
Fellas,
all right,
I'm going to go north of the border to Seattle's arch rival, a team that broke their hearts. Because they're broken themselves. They're kind of, just sputtering all over the place. I'm going to talk about the Toronto Blue Jays. I'm panicking a little bit. George Springer, OPS in the 600s. Dalton Varsho, OPS in the 500s. Vlad, he's been fine, but he's not a 14-year, $500 million player right now. OPSing 778. Jesus Sanchez has been fine. Okamoto has been all right. 0 for 4 today, though. Ernie Clement, 619 OPS. That's not going to play. Nathan Lucas, not good. Not good. Andres Jimenez is hitting a little bit. I don't think that's going to continue. Sorry. Alejandro Kirk, he is on the IL. Addison Barger, he is on the IL. Cody Ponce, might be out for the entire season. I don't know. That looked like a very serious injury. Your number 3 starter is 41 years old. Your number 4 starter is Eric Lauer. With all due respect to Eric Lauer, he's not exactly the guy I want as my number 4 starter in a rotation. Gosman's been good. Cease has been good. That's great. How much do you trust Jeff Hoffman? I don't know. So you are looking at a spot, and Savage is out right now. Like I said, Ponce is out. So you're heading into the season. You have 6 starters. 2 have been good. 1 is 41. 1 is really a long man who you're just putting in the rotation, and 2 are injured. And your bullpen, I get it. Louis Varland throws 100. He's been okay. Braden Fisher's been good. Like to see that. Tommy Nance has allowed 5 runs in 5 innings. Fluarte has allowed 3 runs in 6 innings, or 3 runs in 4 innings. Brendan Little, oh God, 10 earned runs in 3 2/3.
Negative 1.2 baseball reference war already.
Oh man, I feel better about my Griffin Jacks pick now. Woof. But look, I get it. You're going to be competitive with Gossman and Cease, and you still have Vladdy, and you still have good players. It's not like a roster full of bums. Clement has been a great defender. Jimenez has been excellent at the plate for some unknown reason. But I just have my concerns. I don't think the lineup is as deep as we thought it was. They go to the World Series, and you see all the pieces, and they're all chipping in. The Clement hits 400, and everyone has a role, and we all vividly know what role they're playing because we watch them every day for a month, basically, or every other day for a month. And now the regular season starts, and it's just different from the playoffs. You're having to play Tyler Heineman, who threw a game away against Chicago. This is a team The Toronto Blue Jays, who just represented the American League in the World Series, played 6 games against the Colorado Rockies in Rogers Center and the Chicago White Sox. They lost 5 of those 6. They were swept by the Chicago White Sox. They lost a series to the Colorado Rockies in Toronto for the first time in the history of the Colorado Rockies. The Colorado Rockies are older than Alex. Sorry, Alex.
Yeah.
No, that's fine. It makes me feel better.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm slightly concerned about the Blue Jays. I understand the Dodgers are the Dodgers. They're gonna beat everyone. They didn't just beat the Blue Jays on Monday night. They destroyed them. And Max Scherzer, you talked about him being 41. He left the game after 2 innings and 36 pitches. So to pile on there, you're basically relying on Kevin Gausman and Dylan Cease until Trey Savage comes back. Cody Ponce is almost certainly out for the year. He had to get surgery on his ACL. This is a kind of a disaster. That bullpen, not great. I already knew it was a weakness. The fact that they're entering the year again with Jeff Hoffman as the closer, I just don't think he can be trusted there. That lineup, Alejandro Kirk getting injured is a big blow. And the thing is that Tyler Heineman has gone from being the backup catcher to being the starting catcher. That's one thing. He's also had to pitch twice already. Like, that's not a good sign about your bullpen. So the reality is this team is just, it looks like maybe they blew their best chance last year. I mean, Addison Barger, before he got hurt, by the way, was 1 for 19. So with 6 strikeouts. So yeah, it's not looking great. Across the board, this team, it looks like maybe they hit their 99th percentile outcome last year, and I don't know if they can recover. So yeah, if you're panicking about the Blue Jays, I honestly can't blame you here, because it's not just their on-field performance. They are very, very banged up, and I don't know when they're going to be all healthy.
Here's the thing I want to bring up here, and it's kind of what we've been alluding to a little bit here, and that is that there's a very real chance that what we saw last year here from the Toronto Blue Jays was luck, and a lot of it was all of the right pieces, all the pieces working at the same time. The problem is how it isn't sustainable. It just isn't. Unless you are truly bought in that all of these players are as good as they say they are, or as we saw in October, they have to keep doing that here. And I don't think that's what we're going to see here. And that's what we're seeing right now is exactly that. Here, like Addison Barger is a player that a lot of people didn't even really know last year until the playoffs. Here, George Springer is a player that is getting older. Is that getting a good bit older? Alejandro Kirk is one of the best catchers in baseball, but now he's hurt. Here, you have a rotation that's legitimately Eric Lauer should be a long man, not your number 4 starter. Here, like, not again, no disrespect to him on that, just is not at that level right now. And there's a lot of players that you just want to, like, you want to root for them because they are, the underdog that really showed out. But the problem is, a lot of times with those underdogs that show out, they don't continue to show out, or they hit a road bump and can't quite get back there, and now they have to begin that climb again. I'm seeing that a lot with these Blue Jays. And that is something that, especially when you have a bullpen that is not as good as you need it to be. And again, you have Jeff Hoffman, which my boy Tempest very much has feelings about. You have right now a recipe for a letdown.
Yeah, I mean, really, it's alarming. But I think, and XYZ balling, Matt. I mean, I do feel bad about Matt Chapman's stat line. He got charged with 4 errors last week, and most of them weren't his fault. Most of them were because the guys playing first base were Casey Schmidt, Gerard Encarnacion, and Rafi Devers, none of whom really play first base. Anyway, that's why I think errors are a dumb statistic. But I'm going to move on. I'm going to complete this American League trifecta here, staying in the AL East. I got the Red Sox. I spoke about them last week. They did take 2 out of 3 from the Brewers, so good for them. Good for the Red Sox. But, boy, if you're not Wilyer Abreu, Cedon Rafaela, and Wilson Contreras, What's going on with your bat right now? Really, this team has a lot to prove. And look, I think Roman Anthony will be fine, but Trevor Story's been a disaster. The two guys they got from Milwaukee, Andrew Monasterio and Caleb Durbin, are both on the interstate. By that, I mean Monasterio is hitting 100. Durbin is hitting 111 with a 318 OPS. Trevor Story has a 390 OPS. IKF is hitting 091 with 258 OPS. That is just, they clearly did not do enough to upgrade this lineup. Jaron Duran, by the way, has a 550 OPS, and he's still on the roster somehow. I'm shocked he did not get moved this offseason. And the pitching staff, great game from Sonny Gray, but Ranger Suarez has gotten destroyed in his first two starts. 8 runs in 8 1/3 innings. Brian Bayo has gotten lit up his first two starts. 10 runs in 8 innings. Even Garrett Crochet had a bit of a misstep, but he's still Garrett Crochet. So the bullpen's been kind of shaky. Greg Weister in particular, not great. So yeah, this team is underachieving, to say the least. And to add insult to injury here, let's look back at that Rafael Devers trade for a second. Jordan Hicks is on the White Sox. Kyle Harrison looks like he's slowly figuring things out for the Brewers. And the biggest loss of it all, James Tibbs. They got him. They flipped him for Dustin May. Dustin May struggled for a couple months in Boston. James Tibbs is the hottest hitter in minor league baseball right now and could be in the majors soon for the Dodgers. So, yeah, the Red Sox, I think they can recover, but it's hard. I understand why Red Sox fans are panicking right now.
Yeah, very rightfully so here, because now it just makes that Rafi Devers trade look even worse. And what was a true panic move back then didn't bother them much in 2025, but we're starting to see the payment of it coming here in 2026.
Yeah, and also that they traded Devers and then they let Bregman walk in the offseason.
I mean, I'm 99% sure their plan was to trade Devers and then sign Bregman. The problem is they're stuck in their ways and will not give player options.
Hey, what? Caleb Durbin? I thought he was good. No, it's the Brewers.
Yes.
I was going to say it's the Brewers.
It's the Brewers, man. Like I, with all due respect to Ronher Suarez, who has torched my Braves in the playoffs multiple times, I don't know if a lefty in Fenway is exactly the best.
A soft tossing lefty too.
Yeah, like if you're facing a righty, they can just take aim at the big wall over there in left field. I don't know if you've been to Fenway. I haven't. Maybe I should go this summer. Actually,
it's a great stadium. By the way,
I should have had the Hello Kitty night there. Actually, they have several great giveaways.
Diary of Wimpy Kid night next week.
Ooh.
Did you see the White Sox are having a Pope hat night?
Oh,
done. LAR meetup now.
We're doing it. Yeah, we're doing that one.
On the south side.
All right, let's do that.
I hope that wasn't photoshopped. I didn't get to look here.
I hope it ain't.
If that's real, that's amazing.
I'm going to do some cursory Googling.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, WGN is said that. CBS News.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
It's in August.
So it's real.
ESPN.
All right.
MLB just posted about August 11th, boys. August 11th.
August 11th.
August 11th. We are there. We are all going to be in Chicago. Here it is. This is MLB. All right, here we go. All right, August 11th, boys, against the Reds.
That's brilliant. Like, I don't know how they got permission to do this. Like, did they have to ask people if they could do this?
I don't know. Good question.
That's amazing. Like, actually, amazing.
All right. That's plenty of time for me to save up to go. We're
making it work. Making it happen.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, I'm worried about Suarez, and I mean Crochet's can be fine, I think, and Grace can be fine. And I'm not too worried about the lineup. I think that was one of the more overblown things because or at least in the offseason, I think that was a little overblown with, they have no power. Yeah, I mean, no one's gonna hit 40 home runs, but half the lineup's gonna hit 20. Like there's going to be 6 or 7 guys that are going to hit 20 home runs there or 25 home runs there. So I like Contreras in that ballpark. I like Roman Anthony's a good player. Willie Abreu's breaking out.
You're a big Roman Anthony fan.
Narvaez had a good season last year. I thought Story would be better this year. Maybe Durbin. I thought Durbin would hit some doubles off the monster and be okay, but that hasn't worked out super well. You have the other young guys. You have Duran. You have Yoshida. Raphael is going to hit some homers and play good defense. He's like -4 defensive runs saved this season, so I don't know what's going on there. But shout out to Joe Adell, by the way. +5 defensive runs saved the one game. That's one of the stats of all time. Sorry, Alex.
That was an amazing game to watch. Because
honestly,
I've said before, right, that one of my favorite games I've ever seen in my life was the Ben Williamson game against the A's, where he won a game with his defense. I saw it again happen now with Joe Adell, where he won a game with his defense.
Defense wins championships.
That's what I hear.
I don't know if the Angels are winning a championship, but Joe
Adell wins games in April.
Yeah. But anyways, so you guys let us know. LAR_baseball, or let us know in the comment section right here who you're panicking about. But it's time for trivia. Splash, take it away.
Fellas, I have an announcement.
Yep.
My ego is so big that I made a trivia that I can win.
Oh no.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So the news item here is Jose Ramirez set the Guardians record for all-time games played. Good job. So Alex and Mac, I have a list here. It is the 30 players who have the most games played in their respective team's history, and they're in alphabetical order, so no funny business from Henry Aaron to Ryan Zimmerman, A to Z, quite literally. So both of you will choose 10 players, and you will get credit for all games played they have as a member of that team. So if you chose Pete Rose, you'd get Pete Rose's games played with the Reds. If you chose Zach Wheat, you get Zach Wheat's games played with the Dodgers, only that team. So, for example, Luis Gonzalez does not get Marlins games. Henry Aaron does not get Brewers games. Evan Longoria does not get D-backs games. Willie Mays does not get Mets games, etc., etc. Do we understand the rules?
I think so.
I think so.
I do think you have an advantage because you made the thing.
No, that I get the leftover players.
Oh, I see. So we draft our 10 and then you get the remaining 10.
Correct. So you guys either can go back and forth or snake style, whichever you would prefer.
Let's just do back and forth. Make life easier.
All right. Mac, please choose a number between 1 and 25.
17.
All right. Alex?
24.
The answer is 22. Alex, you have the first selection.
Nice. Let's go. Yeah, I'm going to go with Clemente Wagner for the Pirates.
All right. That's crazy. It's tied, to be honest with you. All right. Mac, it is your turn.
Going with Henry Aaron. Dude played forever. So
my goat. Mm-hmm. All right. Alex.
All right. I'm going to go with Tony Gwynn.
Tony Gwynn.
That's a good one.
Mr. Padre. Mac.
Give me Ernie Banks.
Mr. Cub. All right, Alex.
All right, I would be remiss if I did not take Edgar Martinez here.
All right. Not Mr. Mariner.
Not
Mac.
Mr. Mariner, it's Alvin Davis.
Yes.
Willie Mays.
Willie Mays, the say hey kid. All right, Alex.
All right, give me number 2, Derek Jeter. Number 2.
Mr. November. All right, Mac.
Okay. Give me Carl Yastrzemski.
All right. Yes. Shout out to his grandson. Also, so on the broadcast, one of the Braves T-backs games, the Braves radio crew figured out how Mike Yastrzemski learned how to spell his last name, and he can spell it to the tune of Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
Yeah, it's
MICKEYMOUSE, but YASTRZEMSKI.
Yeah,
that was the greatest thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
It's pretty great.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Right, Alex.
All right, I'm going with one of my favorites here. Give me Cal Ripken Jr.
All right.
You know he's played a lot of games.
The streak.
The Iron Man.
All right.
Okay, let's go with Al Kaline.
Al Kaline. 3,000 hit club. All right, Alex.
All right, let's go George Brett.
George Brett.
That was going to be my next pick.
Good pick. They're all good picks. I thought about having some bogeys in there and have that
would have been funny.
Like, say, instead of Ed Kranepool, I put David Wright, and that'd be a 0 because Ed Kranepool has the most games played. But I thought that'd be
glad you did. I'm very glad.
All right, Mac.
Give me Mike Schmidt.
Mike Schmidt. 500 home runs. Alex.
All right. Now we're starting to get to some of the I'm not quite sure's here. I'm gonna go with let's go Michael Young.
Michael Young.
Good pick.
Played for a long time, a lot of games, most games in Rangers history. Mac.
Okay, give me Robin Yount.
Robin Yount, 2-time MVP. People forget. Infielder and outfielder. Alex.
All right, I'm gonna go with Todd Helton. He played forever as well.
Todd Helton, number 17. Mac.
All right, give me Stan the Man.
Stan the Man.
That was gonna be my next one.
All right, Alex.
All right, you know what? Yeah, let's go Craig Biggio.
Craig Biggio. Jose Altuve is quite a long ways away, surprisingly. Mac.
Okay, let's go. I'll go Harmon Killebrew.
That's a good one.
The Hammer, or the Killer.
Killer, yeah.
All right, Alex, your last selection.
All right, my last selection. I'm going to go with Luis Gonzalez.
Luis Gonzalez. All right, and Mac, round us out.
All right. Considering their illustrious franchise history, I got to go with Zach Wheat.
All right.
Just have a feeling if he outplayed like so many legends, then.
All right, and I'm going to fill in my players. So for those listening to the podcast, the leftover 10 are Garrett Anderson of the Angels, Luke Appling of the White Sox, Bert Campaneris of the Athletics, Luis Castillo for the Marlins, Tony Fernandez for the Blue Jays, Ed Kranepool for the Mets, Evan Longoria for the Rays, Jose Ramirez for the Guardians, Pete Rose for the Reds, surprised you guys didn't take him, and Ryan Zimmerman for the Nationals. Any guesses, fellas?
I thought about Pete Rose, but I also just kind of figured that he moved around a little bit at the end of his career. Here that might have hurt a little bit of the games played.
He played 2,800 games with the Reds. The winner is Mac.
Let's go.
Slap it up. 27,540 games, a whopping 2,700 per player. Alex coming in second. He managed to stave me off 23,497, about 2350 per player. And then I was stuck with a lot of thousands here. I had 18,238, about 1,800 and change per player. Although I got Luke Appling and Pete Rose. I had about 5,200 games between them, but good on you guys.
If I had picked Pete Rose instead of Luis Gonzalez, I still wouldn't have won, but it would have been a lot closer. I have the worst pick, though, it looks like here, with Luis Gonzalez at 11.94.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. I like that.
Right.
That was fun.
Yeah,
that was a good one. I enjoyed that.
I think you guys got 20 of the top 22.
Okay.
I got Appling and Rose. You guys had Young and Gonzalez.
Cal Ripken was my best pick by far.
Then Yaz has the record for one team, 33.
I figured, yeah.
So solid performance. Good job, everybody. So Mac, you got trivia duty next week, bud.
Yep, that's a new thing we're doing. The winner will make next week's trivia.
So what that means here is I will never be making trivia. It looks like. Yeah,
few and far between, I guess.
Don't worry. That just means that I get my creatively fun ideas will just happen. I'll have more time to come up with.
You can talk to your therapist about it.
I do.
Good, yeah.
You guys come up with my therapy a little bit more than I'd probably like to let on.
That's okay. Yeah, one of my co-hosts is really mean. He talks about the Mariners in a bad light all the time. It's so on my nerves.
God, I don't know what it is, man. Like, I think he keeps talking about the Atlanta Braves like they're some sort of godsend. All I hear is that in my nightmares.
All right, it's time for the
bacon, egg, and cheese. I don't know why.
Oh yeah, bacon, egg, and cheese, man. All right, it's time for the moment to ourselves. It's how we end every show. 60 seconds or so to talk about whatever the heck is on our mind. Doesn't have to be at all related to baseball or sports or whatever. Okay, Splash wants to go first. All right, I'll count you down. Just 1 second. Your time begins in 3, 2, 1, go.
Hello, friends. I do want to shout out. I got a Legarius Sneed Titans jersey. on clearance from Fanatics. I might be the only person on the planet that has this. L'Jarius Sneed doesn't want this. He's not on the team anymore. If you're a fan of the Titans, you don't want it because he sucks for your team. And no one, like L'Jarius Sneed, it's not like he was a good player on the Chiefs, but it's not like he's like some household name like Deion Sanders on the Ravens or something, or the Commanders or the Redskins at the time. So shout out to UConn basketball. I know they lost on Monday, but pretty inspiring. You know, they had some scuffles in the Big East. You know, they got clobbered by St. John's, and it all kind of came together in the tournament. They got on a run. They had the crazy game against Duke from down 19. Braylon Mullins hits the game-winning shot. That's going to live in my memory for a long, long, long time. They had a great game against Illinois in the Final Four, and then just couldn't get over Michigan. Michigan, that's a truly phenomenal team. I know you can quibble, NIL, transfer portal, screw off. They're a great team. They're one of the best champions of the last 25 years. You could argue they are the best champion of the last 25 years. I mean, could quibble with 2024 UConn, 09 UNC. There are some really good teams in there. The second Florida team was particularly good, but credit to Michigan and a lot of credit to Danny Hurley. Man, that was a great coaching job. I don't think UConn had the talent some other teams in the tournament had, particularly Duke. Duke's going to have a top 3 pick in Boozer, and they're going to have a slew of picks every year. And UConn came back and beat them. They didn't turn the ball over very much in that game or the Final Four. They just kind of didn't really have the size and athleticism to hang with Michigan. Like, they hung with them, but there are a couple plays in there, like you didn't finish a layup, Michigan gets a fast break the other way, or you get blocked on the interior, you missed a couple shots. So just a tough one. Glad it was a good game. Glad it was like a game you could say, like, okay, I am proud to be a UConn fan today, even though they lost. So shout out to UConn and maybe get number 7 next year.
Yeah, and I thought that was a competitive game. Huskies hung in there until the very end. They made it interesting. And yeah, as a rival fan, it was pretty awesome seeing UConn do that to Duke. I mean, straight up, it's my favorite game of the tournament, but that's because I'm kind of biased here. But that was awesome. Braylon Mullins, that's a legendary shot that will be played on highlights. Until
like maybe the Vandy Nebraska is a better game, but that is like an all-time shot. That's going to go up there with not necessarily like the Jenkins and Lorenzo Charles to win the championship, but Kemba. Like Suggs to go to the championship game, the Leitner turnaround against Kentucky. Like, it's going in that like group of historical shots of just like the 30-footer beat or 35-footer beat Duke, go to the Final Four. Like that's top of the line.
That Duke team was insanely talented.
Mm-hmm.
They were the overall 1 seed, if I'm not mistaken. Like, and no 1 seed had ever lost like that. Yeah. So
down 19, like that's insane. So shout out.
All right, Alex, would you want to go next, or should I go next, or
go for it if you'd like to. I kind of like to go last today.
All right. Someone count me down.
Your time begins in 3, 2, 1, begin.
Yeah, I want to shout out the Mets for putting the fans first this week. For those of you who don't know, it is very cold in the Northeast right now. And the Mets moved up the start times of the last 2 games so that, A, they didn't have to play in the freezing cold temperatures, and B, the fans didn't have to freeze in the stands. They moved the games up from 7 to 4, which is a big difference if you wouldn't believe it. Look at where Citi Field is. The wind is a lot stronger in Queens than it is in Manhattan or in the Bronx. Also, they gave out free tickets. They were bought very quickly, and apparently not everyone showed up who bought them, but still, customer service, guys. It's important. I think more teams should be doing this. I know a lot of teams in the league did move up their start times, so I appreciate they did that. I know the crowds weren't as big as they hoped for, but tomorrow is their first home night game of the year. I'm sure we'll get a solid crowd. Kids are still on spring break, so they can go. I appreciate that they actually put the fans first sometimes, put the players first sometimes. I think it was best for everyone that they played at 4 and not 7 deep into the night when it was going to dip below 30 degrees. So yeah, good stuff, Steve Cohen.
Absolutely, I love it whenever they just putting the fans first here and having an owner that truly like respects the fans here, I think is so important in today's game. All right, can someone count me down?
Yeah, I got you. Your time starts in 3, 2, 1, go.
I turned 32, and that number still scares me. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm glad that I'm getting to age is always a good thing, but I don't know. There's some bits of me that number still just feels like you're not able to fully capitalize on a lot of opportunities anymore in your life. I know that's not true, right? Like there's a lot of people that have made amazing careers, heck, starting in their 40s, even their 50s. But for me specifically here, I just don't fully know here. And I'm trying to break out of that mindset because I know that's not how it is. I know that's not how it's supposed to go. But I've been kind of dreading this day just a little bit, just because whenever that number keeps ticking up here, it just feels worse and worse. And today I played golf with some people that were in high school, and they were a lot better than me. But I'm okay with that saying that. But then I also got called Unk for the first time, and funny enough, that didn't hurt me as much, but because I'm like, okay, I at least knew what it meant here. But I'm happy that I have a good life here, and getting older is a privilege in a lot of areas. But I feel always a little worried that I'm letting it slip by, and I'm trying my best to not let that be the case.
Yeah, I mean, I feel, I've had some. I would say I'm younger, but like we are getting to that point where I'm like, wow, this is like every year, like my birthday. Like it's hard to keep track sometimes of how old I'm turning, which is kind of weird.
I legitimately had that the other day where I forgot how old I was, and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah,
like at that point.
Don't you get the cheat code of being born in 2000 though?
So yes, yes, but sometimes people will ask me like, "Oh, how old are you?" And then I have to think for a second, like, "Oh, right, yeah." Because like someone asked me, like, actually, it was yesterday. Someone asked me like, how old I was. I was like, "Oh, I'm turning 26 in 11 days or something, 10 days." And it's like, "Oh wow, like that's crazy." And, I mean, I had a moment like this on Monday. I was getting ready. I was setting up for practice, evening practice, and there was one of the coaches who I know pretty well. She was coach when I was on the team. Was talking to another swimmer who a kid who is in her training group. And first cool thing here, he wanted to know if I had gone to his high school because my brother's name is on the school record board there for the diving. But we came to this realization that when I was a senior in high school, this kid was on the team, but he was in one of the 10 and under training groups, and now he's graduating from high school this year. So I was like, damn, that's 8 years ago now. Like that's crazy to me. But yeah, I had that moment. I was like, wow, has it really been that long? Like, yeah.
I mean, hey, if it makes you feel better, Alex, the entire AFC North group chat, every time it's someone's birthday, it's just a whole bunch of unks. Like I'm 25, they're like 23 or 27 or whatever random age in the 20s for most of them. Everyone calls each other Unk the entire day. It's like happy birthday, Unk. Happy birthday.
I think I figured out a really good way to describe how I'm feeling. There's a short here that the Mariners put out where it was asking what year they were born.
Oh my god, yeah, that was hilarious.
And whenever it's like there's so many that were born past 2000, and then anyone that where it said they just went 19, it just heard na 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 na.
Good job, Alex. You are Unk. You are
Unk.
Oh my gosh. That should be my name for next week, is officially Unk status.
Yeah, I remember, is it during spring training they asked players like, at what age do you officially become Unk? And I'm like, honestly, I don't even know. This is the thing is, I'm the youngest in my family, so like I I don't know. I'm never unk compared to them, but like compared to my nephews, I'm literally their uncle, but like, you know what I mean? I was 19 when my oldest nephew was born. Like, I don't know. Anyways,
I feel like 40 makes sense. 40,
I guess. Yeah. I mean,
honestly, it feels like at this point it's just a term to say older.
Yeah, like, I was gonna say now it's just like, anything can be unk, and like, I bet they're like teenagers who call probably other teenagers unk, and it's like, come on, man.
Can we go back to Emperor's New Groove and it turned into Crunk because that dude was an absolute baller.
Yes, like my goat Crunk.
My goat.
I'm sure there's first graders that call like their teachers unk, they're like fourth graders unk, fifth graders unk.
You would never. I mean, look, growing up, unk was not a phrase for us, I feel like, but you would never call your teacher unk.
We had our own brain rot. Let's not
we had different brain rot. We had
okay, unk.
We had so many other things.
You guys remember Okay Boomer?
Oh yeah, of course I do.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Okay.
Anyways,
let's end the podcast.
That's our program for today. Make sure to follow all of us on Twitter at Mr. Splashman19 for Splash, at the Sports Guy 242 for Alex, and then at Matthias_A_K for myself. Collectively, you can follow us at LAR_baseball on Twitter and Instagram. Oh, also hi Gigi. Make sure to like and subscribe to us on YouTube. Leave us a comment. Maybe you're panicking about something completely different. Maybe you're really optimistic about something. Follow us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you're listening. Give us a 5-star review. Tell us what you like. Tell us something you really don't like. But for all of us at LAR, thank you all for listening. Stay safe, and I hope to see you all real soon. Thank you.
Go crazy, folks!